Our world is awash in symbols. We see them every day on buildings, on clothes, on television. Most are harmless, but some hold a dark significance. They whisper of a hidden world, a world beyond our everyday perception. This is the world of the occult, the domain of secret societies and ancient rituals. For centuries this world has remained hidden from the masses, shrouded in secrecy and whispered rumors. But now, something is changing. The symbols of this hidden world are bleeding into our everyday lives. They appear in plain sight on billboards and music videos, even in children's cartoons. These symbols are not mere decorations. They are talismans imbued with power and meaning. Each one represents a specific aspect of the occult, a facet of its twisted philosophy. The inverted cross, a mockery of Christ's sacrifice. The all-seeing eye, a symbol of the hidden elite watching over us. The pentagram, a gateway to demonic forces. These symbols are not meant for our understanding. They are a language, a code used by those initiated into the occult to communicate with each other and with something far more sinister. They are becoming increasingly prevalent in our world. The evidence is all around us if we only open our eyes to see it. The symbols are just the beginning. Look closer and you will see the influence of this dark force everywhere. In the music industry, where artists openly embrace satanic imagery and lyrics. In Hollywood, where films and TV shows normalize violence, depravity, and the occult. This is a deliberate campaign to erode our values and desensitize us to evil. Symbols are powerful tools. They bypass our conscious mind and speak directly to our subconscious. They evoke emotions, implant ideas, and shape our perceptions of the world. The forces of darkness understand this. They have always understood it. That's why they use symbols to manipulate and control us. These symbols are not random. They are carefully chosen for their specific meaning and power. Each one represents a dark aspect of the occult, a perversion of truth, a celebration of evil. Few symbols are as blatantly provocative as the inverted cross. It is a deliberate inversion of the Christian cross, a symbol of Christ's sacrifice and the triumph of good over evil. By inverting the cross, Satanists and occultists are making a clear statement. They reject Christ, they reject his teachings, and they embrace the opposite. This act of inversion is not merely symbolic, it is a ritualistic act of defiance, a way of mocking and desecrating something sacred. It is a declaration of allegiance to the forces of darkness. The inverted cross is often worn as jewelry, displayed on clothing and incorporated into music and entertainment. This normalization of the inverted cross is deeply troubling. The all-seeing eye is one of the most pervasive symbols in our world today. It appears on our currency, in corporate logos, and even in government buildings. While some claim it represents the eye of God, a benevolent force watching over humanity, there is a darker interpretation. In occult circles, the all-seeing eye represents the eye of Lucifer, the bringer of light, the illuminator. It is a symbol of the hidden elite, the secret societies that believe they are above the law and destined to rule the world. This elite sees all, knows all, and controls all, or so they believe. The all-seeing eye is a reminder that we are being watched, monitored, and controlled. Our every move is tracked, our every thought analyzed. The pentagram, a five-pointed star often enclosed in a circle, is a symbol with a complex and often contradictory history. In some cultures, it has been associated with protection and good luck. However, in the context of the occult, the pentagram takes on a far more sinister meaning, particularly when inverted. An inverted pentagram, with one point facing down and two pointing up, represents the triumph of matter over spirit, the descent into darkness and chaos. It is seen as a gateway to the demonic realm, a portal through which evil entities can enter our world. The use of the inverted pentagram in satanic rituals is well documented. It is used to invoke demonic forces, to curse enemies, and to perform acts of black magic. Celebrities. We idolize them. We emulate them. We allow them to shape our tastes, our desires, even our values. But what if these idols, these arbiters of cool, are unknowingly, or perhaps knowingly, serving as puppets for a darker force? The entertainment industry, with its dazzling lights and promises of fame and fortune, has always been a magnet for the occult. It is a realm where ambition and the pursuit of power reign supreme, a breeding ground for ego and a fertile ground for darker influences to take root. Music has always had a spiritual dimension. It can uplift us, inspire us, connect us to something greater than ourselves. But music can also be used to manipulate, to control, to open our minds to darker influences. For decades, there have been whispers of a satanic influence in the music industry. From the bluesmen who made deals at the crossroads to the rock stars who dabbled in the occult, the association between music and the demonic has been a recurring theme. The lyrics of many popular songs are laced with satanic themes, from glorifying violence and promiscuity to outright invocations of demonic entities. Music videos are filled with occult imagery, subliminal messages, and ritualistic performances. The stage shows of some of the world's biggest stars have become elaborate satanic rituals. The red carpet. A symbol of glamour, of exclusivity, of the pinnacle of success in the entertainment industry. But look closer, beyond the flashing lights and dazzling smiles, and you'll see something sinister lurking beneath the surface. Celebrities, often seen as trendsetters and style icons, are increasingly using their platform to display occult symbols, both subtly and overtly. They wear jewelry adorned with inverted crosses and pentagrams. They flash hand gestures associated with satanic rituals. They incorporate occult themes into their clothing lines and fashion choices. Some may dismiss these as mere fashion statements, attempts to shock or provoke. Entertainment. It's meant to be a form of escape, a way to relax and enjoy ourselves. But what happens when our entertainment becomes infused with darkness, when the lines between fantasy and reality become blurred? We are witnessing a disturbing trend in film, television, and video games, a normalization of violence, depravity, and the occult. What was once considered taboo or shocking is now commonplace, even glorified. Horror films have become increasingly graphic and disturbing, often featuring demonic entities and satanic rituals. The most insidious trick the devil ever played was convincing the world he didn't exist. But what if he's not just trying to convince us he doesn't exist? What if he's trying to convince us he's not so bad after all? We are witnessing a normalization of darkness, a blurring of the lines between good and evil. What was once considered evil is now tolerated, even celebrated. The occult, once hidden in the shadows, is now out in the open, paraded on our screens, worn by our idols, embedded in our music. This normalization of darkness is not an accident. The line between celebration and ritual can be thin. What appears to be joyous abandon can, in fact, be a carefully orchestrated ceremony, designed to invoke forces beyond our understanding. Such is the case with many of the world's most popular festivals and carnivals, events that draw millions with their promise of revelry and release. These events, often steeped in ancient traditions and pagan practices, have become fertile ground for the occult. Under the guise of celebration, behind the masks and costumes, something darker is taking place. A summoning, an offering, a celebration of the flesh and a rejection of the spirit. We flock to these events, seeking escape from the mundane, from the rules and restrictions of everyday life. Brazil's carnival, a riot of color, music, and dance, a celebration of life, of freedom, of the human spirit. Or is it? Beneath the surface of this seemingly joyful event lies a darkness, a history steeped in pagan rituals and the worship of ancient deities. Samba, the heart and soul of carnival, with its pulsating rhythms and suggestive movements, has its roots in African tribal dances, dances that were often used to invoke spirits and celebrate fertility. These dances, brought to Brazil by slaves, were blended with European traditions, creating a hybrid form of expression that retained its primal power. The costumes worn by samba dancers, often revealing and adorned with feathers and sequins, are not merely decorative. They are echoes of ancient ceremonial garb, designed to enhance the dancer's connection to the spirit world. The elaborate headdresses, the flowing skirts, the bare skin, all serve to heighten the sensual energy, blurring the line between the physical and the spiritual. Samba is more than just a dance, it is a trance-inducing ritual, a celebration of the flesh, a gateway to the primal, and those who participate in it, whether knowingly or unknowingly, open themselves up to forces beyond their control. The costumes of Carnival. A kaleidoscope of color, a riot of feathers and sequins, a celebration of creativity and imagination. But look closer, beyond the glitter and glam, and you'll see something more unsettling. A darkness lurking beneath the surface, a celebration of the grotesque and the demonic. Devils, demons, and creatures of the underworld are recurring themes in Carnival costumes. They leer from behind masks, their horns protrude from elaborate headdresses, their claws grasp at the air as dancers sway to the music. These are not mere costumes, they are representations of ancient deities, of primal forces, of the dark undercurrents that flow beneath the surface of our world. The use of such imagery is not accidental. It is a deliberate invocation, a summoning of dark forces to participate in the revelry. The masks and costumes serve as conduits, allowing these entities to walk among us, to feed off the energy of the crowd, to sow seeds of chaos and discord. Carnival becomes a playground for the demonic, a place where the veil between our world and the underworld wears thin, and those who revel in this atmosphere of darkness, who embrace the grotesque and the profane, may find themselves forever marked by the experience. Music has the power to move us, to stir our souls, to transport us to other realms. But what happens when the music we listen to is designed to summon darkness, to open portals to the demonic? The rhythms of Carnival, with their pulsating beats and hypnotic melodies, are not merely designed for entertainment. They are rooted in ancient tribal traditions, in rituals designed to induce trances, to open channels to the spirit world. The relentless drumming, the hypnotic chanting, the repetitive melodies, all serve to break down our resistance, to lower our defenses, to make us susceptible to suggestion. These rhythms bypass our conscious mind, speaking directly to our primal instincts, our deepest fears and desires. They awaken something ancient and powerful within us, something that has been dormant for far too long. And once awakened, this primal energy can be difficult to control. The forces of darkness understand the power of music. They use it to manipulate our emotions, to influence our thoughts, to open doorways to the demonic realm. And Carnival, with its intoxicating rhythms and hypnotic melodies, has become one of their most effective tools. Section 5. A global spectacle of sin. Carnival is not just a local celebration. It is a global phenomenon celebrated in cities and towns around the world. From Rio de Janeiro to New Orleans, from Venice to Trinidad and Tobago, millions flock to these events, seeking escape, excitement, and a taste of the forbidden. But this global spectacle of sin is more than just a harmless celebration of life. It is a campaign by the forces of darkness to spread their influence, to normalize their presence in our world. The themes of Carnival excess, indulgence, the blurring of boundaries, erode our moral compass, to make us more accepting of their agenda. The constant bombardment of sensual imagery, the glorification of the flesh, the celebration of the grotesque, all serve to desensitize us to the darkness, to make it seem normal, even desirable. Carnival is a microcosm of the world the enemy wants us to embrace, a world without rules, without boundaries, without consequences, a world where the flesh reigns supreme and the spirit is crushed beneath the weight of our own indulgence. We must resist the allure of this false paradise, this global spectacle of sin, for in its embrace lies not freedom but enslavement. Section 1. The Unveiling, the video evidence. It's stark, unsettling. It peels back the veneer of entertainment, of cultural celebration to reveal something cold, calculating, and deeply disturbing. What we see is not random, not accidental. It is a deliberate display, a calculated assault on the very fabric of our spiritual understanding. The symbols we've discussed, symbols once relegated to the shadows, to hushed whispers and secret societies, now blare at us from the screen. They're not hidden, not disguised. They are front and center, woven into the performance, the costumes, the music itself. This is not art, this is not self-expression. This is a ritual, played out on a global stage, broadcast into millions of homes. The performers, the dancers, the musicians, they may be unwitting pawns, caught in a web spun by darker forces, or perhaps they are willing participants, seduced by promises of power, fame, or something far more sinister. The intent is clear: to desensitize, to normalize, to make the unthinkable palatable, to prepare us for a world where darkness is not shunned, but embraced, where the lines between good and evil blur, and the very foundations of our morality crumble. Section 2. When symbols align. It's not just the presence of these symbols, it's the way they're used, the context in which they appear. The video reveals a chilling pattern, a deliberate alignment of imagery and action that speaks to a deeper, more sinister agenda. The inverted crosses, no longer mere fashion accessories, become focal points of choreography. Dancers contort their bodies around them, mimicking ancient rituals of inversion and desecration. The all-seeing eye, projected onto massive screens, stares down at the audience, a constant reminder of unseen forces watching, manipulating, controlling. The pentagram, emblazoned on costumes and stage props, pulsates with light, becoming a gateway, a vortex drawing the energy of the performance of the audience into its dark heart. The music itself, laced with subliminal messages and demonic frequencies, bypasses the conscious mind to work its dark magic on a deeper level. This is not coincidence. This is calculated manipulation. A tapestry of darkness woven thread by thread, symbol by symbol, designed to ensnare our senses, to weaken our resistance, to open us up to the insidious whispers of the abyss. Section 3. Orchestrated defiance. These performances, these celebrations, they are no longer about joy, about community, about the human spirit. They have become acts of defiance, of mockery, of open rebellion against the divine. The very movements of the dancers, the lyrics of the songs, the costumes, the lighting, all coalesce into a grotesque parody of religious ritual. The sacred is desecrated, the holy mocked, the divine dragged down into the muck and mire of our basest instincts. This is not entertainment, it's an assault, a deliberate attempt to desensitize us to evil, to make it seem not just acceptable, but alluring. What we are witnessing is a spiritual war playing out on the battlefield of our culture. The forces of darkness are no longer content to operate in the shadows. They are stepping into the light, bolder, more brazen, using our own hunger for entertainment, for escape, as a weapon against us. We must not be deceived by the spectacle, the music, the costumes. We must not allow ourselves to be lulled into complacency by the sheer ubiquity of it all. For in our silence, in our acceptance, we become complicit in our own spiritual enslavement. Section 4. A call to awareness. The evidence is there for those willing to see it. The symbols, the rituals, the open displays of defiance. This is not a game. This is not a fad. This is a concerted effort to reshape our world, to usher in a new age of darkness. This video, this evidence, it is a wake-up call. A call to awareness, to vigilance, to action. We cannot afford to remain silent, to pretend we do not see the darkness closing in. We must educate ourselves, our families, our communities. We must expose the truth behind these symbols, the agenda behind these spectacles. We must be discerning in what we consume, what we allow into our homes, into our minds, into our hearts. We must choose light over darkness, good over evil, truth over deception. The battle for our souls is raging, and the time to choose sides is now. Turn away from the spectacle, reject the symbols, reclaim your spiritual sovereignty. The future of our very humanity may depend on it. Section 1. The Devil's Playground. We have journeyed deep into the heart of darkness, peeled back the layers of deception to reveal the disturbing truth lurking beneath the surface. The symbols of the occult, once hidden in the shadows, are now brazenly displayed in our music, our movies, our festivals, even our children's cartoons. This is not a coincidence. It is a deliberate strategy, orchestrated by forces that thrive in darkness, that seek to enslave our souls and drag us down into the abyss. They have infiltrated our institutions, corrupted our entertainment, and poisoned our minds with their insidious propaganda. Our world has become the devil's playground, a place where evil masquerades as entertainment, where darkness is packaged as glamour, where the grotesque is celebrated as art. We have been lulled into a state of complacency, distracted by the spectacle, seduced by the promise of pleasure and escape. But while we have been sleeping, the enemy has been busy. Busy planting seeds of doubt, of fear, of despair. Busy eroding our values, corrupting our youth, and weakening our resolve. Busy preparing us for a world ruled by darkness, where freedom is an illusion and truth is a distant memory. Section 2. Awaken to the truth. The time for denial is over. The time for complacency is past. We are engaged in a spiritual war, a battle for the very soul of humanity. The forces of darkness are real and powerful. But we are not powerless. We have the strength and courage to resist. We must awaken to the truth and reclaim our spiritual sovereignty. Educate ourselves and our loved ones about the true nature of evil. Be vigilant in our consumption of media. Reject the symbols of darkness and the messages of fear. Choose love over hate, truth over lies, and light over darkness. The battle may be long, but we are not alone. We have the power of truth on our side. Let us stand together and banish the darkness from our world. The future of humanity depends on it.